In today's video, I'm gonna talk about a copper stock that I've been buying over the past few months, and that is currently one of my biggest positions. It is listed in Canada, and as I will show you, I believe this investment could easily generate a return of several times my money. So if you are interested in good investment ideas, well, just stick around. It will certainly be worth it. Now, before we begin, let me just remind you that this is not investment advice. I'm just sharing with you what I'm doing with my own money. So, a lot of people are talking about gold these days, but one metal I think has a lot of potential is copper. Copper is going to become increasingly essential because it's crucial for the electrification of the world. Want wind energy, electric cars, smartphones, AI? Well, you will need copper. That's why people say copper is the new oil. And it seems we are at the very early stages of demand growth for copper. The problem is that the largest copper mines are being depleted, while investment in new ones is currently very low. At the same time, it can take more than a decade to get all the necessary permits and to put a mine finally into production. So we have serious supply issues here while demand keeps growing. That's why it makes sense to expect copper prices to go up in the long run, and also that's why new copper deposits are so important and valuable. And the company I've invested in has a copper deposit worth around $1.5 billion, while its entire market cap is only $65 million. So do you see the upside here? Can you see the asymmetry? Okay, but what company is this? What's the stock? It's called Oroco Resources and it's listed on the TSX Venture in Canada under the ticker symbol OCO and on the US OTC markets under the ticker symbol ORCCF. And if you plan to leave this video now that you already know this stock's name, I have to tell you, you may be leaving a lot of money on the table. And in case you're wondering how to buy these kind of stocks, I will leave a link in the description for the brokerage I personally use, Interactive Brokers. That's how I'm buying Oroco Resources, for example. Now, Oroco Resources is a different kind of mining play because their main goal is not to actually mine the copper, the minerals themselves. Instead, their strategy is to confirm the historical data, since that area had already been explored before, expand the resources, and then sell this asset to a major mining company. And I like this strategy because it's much less risky, given that mining is a tough business where lots of things can go wrong. Another special thing about the Santo Tomas project, which is Oroco's main project, is its location. You see, everything gets a lot riskier and much more difficult if the land you own, is located in a bad jurisdiction and in a remote place, far from everything with no power or roads. After all, mining requires a lot of infrastructure, so if you're out in the middle of nowhere, you have to build everything from scratch, which makes it all way more expensive. The Santo Tomas project, on the other hand, is located in the state of Sinaloa, Mexico, which is here, Sinaloa, which is a great jurisdiction for mining. And the Santo Tomas project is around here. Around here. And this land, as they show us on this map, is close to roads and railways, has access to power, is near a hydroelectric plant, and is also close to the deepwater port of Topolobampo, giving easy access to the Pacific Ocean. And lastly, this terrain is also not situated in a high elevation area, and the deposit is easy to extract since it's right at the surface, meaning you don't have to dig too deep. But it's true what I said, as the latest PEA that came out just recently shows, this is the post-tax net present value for the Santo Tomas project. Here, $1.5 billion. While Oroco Resources' entire market cap is only $66 million. The thing is that this economic study was based on a copper price of only $4. But as we've already seen, copper prices are probably going higher over the long run. So what is happening now is that some people are already using a copper price of $4.5. But in the end, copper prices can go much higher than this. So again, can you see the upside here? Can you see the asymmetry? And more importantly, would you say a major mining company would be interested in acquiring such a project for, let's say, less than half of its net present value, for, let's say, $500 million? Because I would say so. But if that was the case, from where the stock is trading now, it would be a return of more than 7x. And I really think that major mining companies would be interested in this project, because it's simply one of the best out there. As the most recent PEA shows, this is one of the most capital efficient projects in the world, as we see here, one of the least capital intensive ones. So I think the major players could be interested here, don't you? And it doesn't end there, because the higher copper prices go, the bigger the net present value for this project gets. As they tell us here, for every 1% increase in copper prices, we see a 3.7% rise in post-tax NPV. So huge leverage to copper here. So could this project be sold for $700 million, for $1 billion? Of course. And it's interesting to look at Oroco's price chart, because the stock is trading again at the 2020 price levels. The difference is that it's much more safer to invest in Oroco now than it was back then. At that time, they were just beginning the drilling phase and were still far from confirming the historical results or having a PEA. Now all of this is behind us, and I'm getting the chance to buy the same project with much more margin of safety at early 2020 levels. So that's why I bought Oroco Resources. Now, to close this video, if you are interested on learning more about Oroco Resources investment thesis, I highly recommend you Mariusz Channel YouTube channel, whose link I will leave in the description of this video. Besides, I will leave other useful sources of information about Oroco too. Anyway, that's it for today. See you next time.